Kia ora, and welcome to this introductory video on how to set up and use your Maritime New Zealand TDS Skimmer. For years, hydraulic machinery has been used to skim oil off the water. One such machine is the elastic TDS. This machine utilizes a rotating drum to collect oil inside of itself and then pump it out into a storage container or frame tank. Let's learn how to set all this machinery up. Health and safety is always top priority at Maritime New Zealand, so let's wear all the correct PPE as shown by this responder here. Your TDS system arrives in these two crates, one containing the power pack and one containing the skimmer. Working as a team, first we will remove the orange covers and then the doors. In the interest of health and safety, we recommend 2 people minimum for this entire operation. In an orderly fashion, we can now remove all of the pieces and place them out ready to set up. When everything is out of the containers, we should find the power pack, the skimmer, the white bucket containing the pump, 3 short 5-meter hydraulic hoses and 3 longer 10-meter hydraulic hoses, 3 lay-flat discharge hoses and a solid rigid discharge hose. Next, we will complete some pre-start checks. First, the battery needs to be connected. In this example, the black cable is not connected to the battery. If you pull back the plastic sleeve, you should find that it slips on nicely, and then can be tightened up with a spanner. Be careful to not touch the wrench on the other terminal as it will short circuit. A couple of turns and it's good to go. Make sure to put the plastic cover back on. The hydraulic fluid indicator level is on the side of the tank. If it needs a top up, just remove the filler cap and pour it in here. The power pack runs on regular diesel, and the cap can be found just on top. If you unscrew it, you will find a gauze filter. If you pull this out, you can see how much fuel it needs. If you're going to top it up, make sure you leave it in there and top it up through the filter. Once you're done, screw the cap on afterwards, and be sure not to over-tighten it. The oil dipstick is on the side of the engine. Place a cloth before unscrewing and pull it out. Check the indicator level on the side of the dipstick, and if it's good, screw it back in. If your machine needs more oil, then you can give it a top up through this hole, and then screw the dipstick back in. Next, give the verified lifting points a quick inspection to make sure there's no damage. And lastly, make sure the debris catcher is properly installed on your skimmer. Although your power pack is a heavy machine, it is relatively easy to move around thanks to the handles on the front. Bend your knees and lift it up like a wheelbarrow. But please do be careful if you're moving it around on uneven ground. The skimmer head is a 2-person lift. Use the handles on the side, bend your knees and carry it safely into position. Excellent work, team. Now we're ready to set this up. To keep everything simple, all the connections are color-coded. And if you lay everything out first, it is easy to connect. First, the pump attaches to the skimmer head using this cam lock fitting. Lift it up, slide the connection in, and pull down on the levers. It is vital to make sure this is properly connected and then safely placed down. All cam lock fittings have a black rubber Booner seal on the inside of the female connection. Please make sure this is in place before continuing with any other connection. Connect the rigid discharge hose directly to the pump with the same cam lock fitting as used before. All the hydraulic connections are color coded, but there is one special hose with a T-piece fitting used to connect to the pump and the skimmer. To make a hydraulic connection, remove the dust cap, peel back the outer sleeve and push it in place. Then screw in the black safety lock so it doesn't come off. This process is identical to all the other hydraulic connections used in this video. We can now proceed to make all of the other hydraulic connections in the same way we just did. They are all color coded and only go in one way, so this is simple. Here is an example of the skimmer head that is fully connected. We can now make the connections to the power pack, and again, these are color coded. Sometimes, when making a hydraulic connection, a hose will dribble out a bit of fluid. This is normal, but make sure you use a cloth to clean up the mess. We are now ready to lift our skimmer into the oil. But for the purposes of this training video, we're just going to pop it in our freshwater tank. Before starting the power pack, we need to make sure that both of the controls are turned clockwise into the 0 position. Make sure that the fuel is turned on, and then set the throttle to the start position. Loosen off the black screw and then tighten it into the start position. Before we start, please wear earmuffs. This machine is loud. We are now ready to turn the key. Pass the first click and then it will start. Once your machine is running, we can now use the controls on the front, turning them anti-clockwise to increase the speed of the drum. Setting the right speed is important. If it's not picking up oil, it's too slow. And if it's flicking oil in the air, then you're going too fast. The pump control works exactly the same. Increase the speed if the skimmer is filling up with oil too quickly. Watch it discharge fluid into our storage container whilst the machine is simultaneously operating. Notice how we have secured our machine into position so that it can efficiently pick up all the oil. Your skimmer head should have 2 robust tie-down positions located either side of the drums. These are inverted to enable the skimmer head to fit inside of the transport crate. If you want to utilize these, then flip them around with some tools as shown in the video here. When conducting maintenance on the TDS, we recommend you chock up the skimmer head with some wood so you do not damage the drums. Once we are done, we can turn the controls back to the 0 off position, release the throttle, and turn off the key. Now we are ready to lift the skimmer out of the water and pack up. Disconnecting everything is easy. You do need to have a cloth as it will drip hydraulic fluid. Place the blue safety caps back into the hydraulic connections as well. If you have used your skimmer for an exercise, like we have, it will need to be flushed with fresh water and dried before stowing away. If you have used your TDS skimmer in a response, then it will be heavily soiled and will need to be cleaned. Please contact Maritime New Zealand for more information on how to properly clean your skimmer. When your system is clean and dry, it can be returned to its crates for storage. The door to the big container can be used as a ramp to easily get the power pack back into its storage position. Once it's safely in, you can then return everything back to how it was when we started. Return the doors and place the orange protective covers back on. Thank you for watching this introductory video on how to set up and use your Maritime New Zealand TDS Skimmer System. Stay safe and see you next time.